It's the Dani Cutler Show on Independent Radio, KWSS 93.9 FM, and we're streaming at kwss.org. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. If you're listening on 93.9 FM, you cannot see their lovely faces, but I have two wonderful women in film and acting with me this morning, still talking about the Indie Film Fest all this week. I have Claudia Restrepo and Maya Murillo with me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, afternoon.
Whenever you're listening.
Hello. That's the thing that my listeners know, that if they hear an interview, they know it's probably during the day and they can go check out the Zoom afterwards. But 8 in the morning, no, we're not this perky 8 in the morning. I'm not.
I'm asleep.
Yeah. Well, there's a little radio secret. Usually I am too, but we won't get into that. Even though I'm on the air, it's magic. Oh, well, thank you both for joining me to talk about the hilarious film Kill Me Daddy, which is a selection at this year's Indie Film Fest. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. And, it's going to be hard to talk about this and not give anything away, but this is just a big teaser so that everybody either gets the online streaming pass or goes to the festival on Friday and Saturday and checks out the film, because it is just 10 minutes of pure enjoyment. And I mean, I absolutely loved it. So congratulations again. And Claudia, I want to start with you and get some background on not really the film, but just your background as a writer and director.
Yeah, me and Maya met sort of when we were both working in digital video at BuzzFeed Studios. So we were creating videos for the internet and sort of specifically for a Latinx audience for a while. And we met there and sort of both began our filmmaking journeys. I would say there, I'd sort of done some web series and some other shorts before then, but we really sort of cut our teeth, as you would say, in the digital space. And I'm a writer, director, producer, all the hyphenates. Whatever.
It sounds very independent.
It's very independent.
Yes,
independent's another way for saying self-employed and sometimes not paid. But
Claudia can do it all. She can do everything. When we used to work together and we needed these two specific shirts designed for this scene that we were doing. Remember the Kitty Pawpaw one?
Pawpaw shirts.
She designed those shirts and printed them out and she can literally do anything, and she's so inspiring to work with constantly.
For a short film or an independent project, you kind of have to know how to do all of the things. So we utilized a lot of that can-do attitude in making Kill Me Daddy for sure.
Oh, and you can tell that the passion and the fun and that you both know each other, it's in there. You can see it. It comes across in the acting and the story and everything. So let's talk about it. I mean, I've teased it enough. So give me a general overview. What is Kill Me Daddy about?
Kill Me Daddy is the story of a young woman who is in the forays of dating, and she's very excited about a guy. And then her friends let her know right before a date that he's actually been the subject of a true crime podcast investigation. So it's sort of a bit, he was technically acquitted, but his guilt is still sort of in the court of public opinion. And public opinion says he probably did it. And now Maya has to go on a date with this guy. And that's the premise for this the short.
Oh, it's so funny. And yes, chaos ensues.
Yeah, chaos certainly ensues. Yes.
Oh my goodness. So Claudia, was it both of you who wrote it, or Claudia, did you write the screenplay?
I wrote it, though Maya is always and forever my creative muse. So it's not as if I wrote this and was like, oh, I should plug someone in. It was written with the intention for it to be always.
Maya, I'm writing you another movie.
I mean, truly all the time.
We're constantly working on something that we're going to shoot this weekend. And I feel like because we've worked together so closely, on the same team, we always sat in the same seat. She sat by the wall. Our other former coworker and BFF Curly sat in the middle of us, And like Claudia has just trained me to be like a better actor, producer, editor, all that stuff. I always say like I come from like the house of Claudia. And so I feel like because we are so close in friendship too, like it just kind of is such a natural fit for us to work together. And like we always say like same brain, like it's so much fun whenever we write together, and it's gonna be fun this weekend when we film. So I think this whole process was just really, really fun to make and to do. And it's really cool that like every time she wants me to be in something, I'm like, yes, of course. Like I don't care what it is. I just say yes every time.
You should test that sometime, Claudia. Like just give her a picture of some idea that's just really out there. And
I mean, I asked her to do a lot on this for sure. I was, don't want to give anything away, but I was just like, here's another difficult situation. We ended up cutting a scene where I was like, eat an entire block of cheese, and then like in a weird frantic moment, and she's like, I hate cheddar, and I'm lactose intolerant. I was like, so sorry.
I'm lactose intolerant.
I am.
And to her credit, Maya was like, okay, if it's what has to be done.
And
I'll do it if you really need this for the movie.
If you really need it. And then it was cut.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, where did the idea for Kill Me Daddy come from? What was the inspiration? I mean, obviously probably true crime podcasts, but was there another thing that triggered this?
I wish I had like a cooler explanation, but I am obsessed with true crime podcasts. It's not an original thing, but I certainly am. And had sort of been playing with the notion of someone dating someone that you learn this very specific information about them and sort of have to walk into a situation pretending you don't know this very sort of nefarious background. Mm-hmm. And what sort of how expectations are flipped near the end of that story. And yeah, so it just kind of came from there, and knowing the actors I wanted to work with, who I've worked with in the past, and the roles they sort of already naturally gravitate towards or were very good at, sort of became the blueprint for the characters they are in the film.
Yeah. And it's a great ensemble of actors that are in this. You all complement each other very well, and you could tell you work well together. You sort of answered my question. I was going to say, how did you find your co-stars for the film? But it seems that you knew them all already.
Yeah, we all had sort of previously worked together on projects or worked together at BuzzFeed previously, a lot of us. And yeah, it's all, I mean, literally, I would say it's all in the family, and literally one of the actresses is my sister. So it is actually all in the family.
Well, there you go. You pull where you can for independent anything. Exactly. It's like, it is a family affair. It's like, I need anybody. We find volunteers all the time for radio, and it's usually listeners that help us out with stuff.
Yeah. And this was done, I mean, we have been lucky enough to sort of make a lot of content, but this project was done with a very small crew, partly for cost, but also because we knew we could do it with a small crew. We didn't really need a lot of people. So, I mean, We really just had 2-3 other crew members, and then me and the actors, and that was kind of it.
Yeah. Were there any mishaps? I know there's certain scenes in there where we'll give this away. You're by a ledge.
Yeah. You know what? Like I wasn't there for like the location scouting at all. Just like day of, we saw that we were filming at like this. It's somewhere in Glendale in Arizona. I almost said Arizona. I'm from Arizona, so like coming here to LA and there's a Glendale here, I'm like, all right, there's a Glendale in Arizona too. So, but there was like this park in Glendale, California that we went to, and it's very like woodsy, like deserty kind of thing. And there was like a scene, this doesn't give away too much, but like, where we kind of have to do stuff in the woods and like get dirty a little bit. And I think I like fell. It was like, remember when I like fell, and then we kept it in, but you can clearly see me laughing. But it was supposed to be really stressful, but like I could not play it off, because when you fall on your butt, you just fall on your butt. It's funny.
Yeah.
But there were like some stunts that I was like, ooh, I'm an actor. Look at me. But we like, there's a lot of really cool scenes. And for Claudia's vision, like especially at the end, where, you know, it's like golden hour.
Yeah.
We kind of had to like hurry up and really get things on point to reach that beautiful scene at the end. So it was, the energy was very intense, and it just felt really cool. And everyone that we worked with on set, like the actors and stuff, everyone's so natural and like fun. And I think because we're like real life friends, like we can kind of like naturally play off of each other. So I think that was like the kind of intense part was the end, which I feel like is the intense part too.
Oh my gosh.
We were rushing towards that shot, certainly.
Yeah. No,
almost didn't quite get it.
Yeah, and that was really great. I mean, the ending of it, and I was just like, what a cool place, actually. You know, if you're not thinking about the film, it's actually a cool little location there at the end with the bench. And yeah, I'm going to tease this as much as I can. Trust me, I'm going to give little things: bench, ledge, pepper spray, you know.
Make your own assumptions, yeah, or come see the film.
Oh, but I tell you, the film overall, what I noticed, it really is about making grand assumptions about something based on, you know, that public opinion or what you hear. You know, you form your opinions as soon as you hear something, you know. And if somebody's the subject of a true crime podcast, say that 5 times fast: true crime podcast.
True crime podcast. Yes.
Yeah, right. You know. But if somebody's the topic of that, and then you like meet that person, well, you've already got, you know, I would really be surprised if somebody went into it with a completely open mind and no preconceived notions. And I would never believe that, because you just form your opinions. And it's unfortunate because the person who is the topic of that has to prove they are not. If it ends in a good way or whatever, you know, if they're in jail, obviously that's a different if it ends differently than that. But you know, it also shows that things, because of your assumptions and what you think, things can go really wrong.
With the short, it was also, and I think with almost anything I write and in life, there's very rarely a very true villain. Like, you know, like it's very rarely a pure evil sentiment or malicious in person, and it's more just a complicated situation. And I also don't want to give away too much about the ending there, but yeah.
And it's usually our assumptions that gets us into more trouble.
Yes.
So, and of course, you know, because of the film, it spirals a little more than you would think the average, you know, assumption would, but you never know, you know. I don't have any skeletons in the closet. Don't worry. But it is wonderful. And I still can't believe that it's only 10 minutes long, because so much is packed into that 10 minutes.
Yeah, I almost, especially for a short, I'm just like, shorter better. And it could have been shorter, probably. But there's a lot to get through. Like, like a block of cheese. I mean, you took the block of cheese out. We took the block of cheese out. Would have been 12 minutes with the block of cheese. So we made hard cuts.
I love it. Well, it's a wonderful film. And again, it is screening at the Indie Film Fest. It'll be every evening of the festival. Opening night is sold out, but they do have the online screening pass, and you can see it from the comfort of your home if you choose, or you can go out on Friday. It's screening on Roosevelt Row, and that's when KWSS will be out there. And Saturday, for the awards ceremony, they're going to screen it again at the Irish Cultural Center, which will be a wonderful spot to see it. Yeah. Claudia, envision a castle in the middle of downtown Phoenix, a city. It's a
and great. There's an amazing coffee shop by there, and a great eatery place that I used to hang out there all the time.
It's wonderful. Yeah, it's just a great location and so easy to get to off the light rail. And yeah, it's going to be a wonderful weekend. Whoever wants to answer this one first can, but I want to get your ideas on, what do you feel the importance is of having an indie film fest? You know, any indie film fest, specifically this one we can talk about, but how important is it to have indie film fests in general?
I feel like I can go for it. I feel like mine's a little bit shorter, but I am definitely working, or I guess I'm like, I need to stop saying trying. Like I'm trying to be an actor because my niche is.
You are.
I am. Exactly.
You're a
Yes.
fantastic
Yes.
actor.
But my area is internet videos, and so often in this industry, like, I feel like sometimes they're not very inviting to online creators who have been natural actors producing their own things that are just as worthy as like big films and like all this stuff. So I think these film festivals are really important because I think it makes like indie creators like us feel seen, and especially within the Latinx, Latine lens, like this is all like, like women of color production. And it was very, very fun to make. And it was cool to see that we got selected for, especially in Phoenix, like my hometown, like that was just a double win. But I think for like actors who are up and coming, like it's really cool to be represented in that way and among all these other amazing films and actors. And it just really gives us a spot of like, look, like we did it. Look at the cool things that we made. And it's cool that it's going to be shown to a bunch of people and in such a beautiful festival. So I think as an actor and as a creative, it's just a really cool, like pat on the back, and like community type of thing. So
yeah. Claudia?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons. I mean, any sort of organizations and festivals and anything that encourages community and networking and everything. I especially love sort of these independent festivals because we create a lot online, but it's kind of a different audience that you are reaching when you get to screen and people are participating as part of a festival. It's maybe not the same audience that is clicking, a Vimeo link as someone that's going to be there in person to see the film. And it's just great networking opportunities, and in less of a sense that like you're, maybe meeting somebody super famous, but the sense that it's creating a community of filmmakers. And like, that is the networking pool, is finding who your next collaborator is, meeting a potential composer, someone that's an actor that you see in a different film that you love. Like any film festival I've been to, I've walked out of it with so many friends and names and potential contacts, and it already makes the experience worth it.
That's so wonderful. Yeah, I think on the indie level too, it just legitimizes everything. It's because it is, you have these large film festivals and the smaller budget films always get, swept under the rug or put aside or not selected, and they're not taken as seriously, like you were saying, Maya, I'm trying to be an actor. It's like, I almost feel like the attitude is like, oh, it's just an indie film.
Yeah.
And it's not, it is a film. Yes, it's independently made, but a film is a film.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hadn't even mentioned, which is, funny, I didn't lead with this, but when we made this short, it was definitely with the intention to make something that is sort of a calling card for my style of filmmaking and a great piece that really displays Maya's amazing comedic abilities. But it was never sort of made with the intention of like, this is a festival darling. This is whenever anyone's sort of like, well, what are your plans with the film? What are you doing? I'm like, oh, well, I'm applying a few places, but it's more of a business card in a sense. And it wasn't, and I say that because I think this film doesn't fit the very specific sort of not cookie cutter, but the blueprint for maybe what you assume a festival film is, like very cinematic, very identity driven, usually a drama. And this is not those things.
And this is not.
It is not. It's creative, but I don't think someone's gonna walk away and be like, my goodness, that one shot, how they did that with the light and that angle, and it was really poetic. It's like, no, we did the shot that served the story and that made it funny. And I think that's just as valuable and fun as, a 5-minute film about like a very intense,
Well, sure. They're all valid in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're billing this. It's a comedy. Yes. You're not going into it. I didn't go into it expecting something massively deep, and that's not, and that of course, hopefully is not insulting, because that's not what it is.
I think we spend enough time analyzing
you go into any film to be entertained. And when you see what the genre is, well, then you prepare yourself for what that entertainment is going to be. So
certainly.
Yeah. And Kill Me Daddy checked all those funny boxes. So it was great. Can you tell I enjoyed it? Can you tell?
Oh, I love it. I love the title too. I'm just so glad. I struggled with the title for a while.
Yeah. How did you finally decide
were we on set? We were like on set.
We were on set and we're trying to think of the name of the podcast that Ben's character refers to, James's, and we just did a bunch of takes with a bunch of different names and we were like, is this one too silly? I don't know, let's try it. We like it. And it really stuck. And now I'm obsessed with it. I just think it absolutely would be a great podcast. I might just have to make it.
Your next venture will be.
And I did love when people say, yeah, Kill Me Daddy. I just love
it. Yeah. That's what I kind of had the same sort of vision. That's pretty great. Oh my gosh. Well, Claudia and Maya, how can people find out more about your work beyond the film festival?
You can check out a lot of my short films and work on my website, claudiarestrepo.com. But if you just want to see pictures of my cat and fun comedy things, you can go to my Instagram, which is @ClaudDog, 2 Ds. Claude Dog.
I love it.
And you can find me at Maya in the Moment, MAYA in the Moment, on all social media platforms. I make a lot of different comedy videos and singing videos, and soon to be more scripted short form, I guess longer form now, videos coming soon.
Yay, so exciting. It was so wonderful to meet both of you. And and any other projects you have coming up, keep me in mind. I would love to chat with you guys again. I'll be like, oh, I forgot to record, but we've just been talking for an hour. It's like, I've had such a good time. So the film is Kill Me Daddy. It's going to be at the Indie Film Fest Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And all that information is at indiefilmfest.com. Claudia and Maya, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you. Thanks, Dani. Shout out.